Hello, World Wide Web. Good evening. This is James with another stock update. We're going to do Tesla for you real quick. TSLA, Tesla Inc., Elon Musk Incorporated. Now I know why he's the richest man in the world. Price per earnings, 55. Woo! Boy, they must really think this thing's growing. Look at that stock. It's taking a recent beating. Go down to the income statement. Annually, 21 million from 2018, 24 million, 31. Oh, I'm sorry, let me get a B on there. 21 billion, 24 billion, 31 billion, 53 billion, 81 billion. Ooh, that's a nice launch. And the quarterlies for 2022, no growth in 3 quarters. Uh-oh. And then they grew. Then they grew twice. They got it up to $24 billion a quarter currently. So now they're cruising probably at about $100 billion a year, comparing that to this 81. So now their new course is probably right up here. Net income only $12 billion. And when I say only, he's the world's richest man. You're going to need more net income than that, because you don't get to shove this in your pocket. I don't think. Or does he? Who knows? Balance sheet looking strong, growing, bigger, more cars in stock, more cars to sell. 82 billion with 36 billion in debt. 36 billion in debt and 81 billion in revenue. Very reasonable. They can afford to pay for their debt, and it's not going to be strangling them. I don't know. It goes up and down on every little news article. Warren Buffett missed out investing early in Tesla, didn't we all? I don't know. There's been all kinds of news. Is everyone going to own an electric car in our lifetime? I mean, is that really what's going to happen? Nissan, Ford. Ford's supposed to say that Ford's saying right now they're going to get to an electric vehicle revenue that Elon Musk has, and they're going to do it in 2 years. And they're starting right now. So does he just get swamped by all the other car carriers? Does he become the breakout brand like they are? Let's compare him with another car company. Let's say he's cruising at 100 billion right now in revenue. Let me check. We'll check a couple real quick. Hang on. And once again, I'm nothing but impressed with Elon Musk. Ford does $186 billion a year in sales. Elon Musk does 2/3 of it as of now. He's almost caught Ford, and that's all their trucks, all their cars, all their electric vehicles, all their everything. Is it because the Tesla costs so much more? And they only have to sell half as many? I don't care what the reason is. He's almost caught Ford. I don't know. The PE of 55. How do we justify that? Well, with incredible growth. If the cap is 159 on Ford, where's the cap on Tesla? How many cars does the country need? And how many people will pick Tesla over Toyota, Nissan, Ford, Chevy, Honda, Volkswagen, Jaguar, and the other Hyundai, Kia? I know they're not really legitimate competitors of Tesla just yet. But if they're all diving into the EV market within a couple of years, you can assume there's going to be lots of options. And if one of the big ballers in cars is doing 160 billion a year, I would say a couple of hundred billion a year is probably going to be his cap. That's where the growth is going to start to go, we're not going to grow so fast anymore. So, with that said, I see this growth can double. He's probably right here at 100 million, 100 billion for the year. I think he can get to 200 billion. I think he can have 4 more years that grow year over year like this one did. So maybe 4 more years till Tesla hits its peak. And if the PE is 55 and if the price stays exactly the same and doesn't move for 4 years, the PE turns into what, 12 or 14? 12. Then yeah, obviously, then it's priced very well for 4 years from now. And I guess that's what they're trying to do by assigning it such a large PE. It's definitely going to get to 150 million, you would imagine. So you could justify the 55 PE. You're not going to be able to justify it for very long, though, because once they hit that terminal velocity where they have Ford's PE, because the growth is over. Let's see what it's worth then. Whoa. Hello. Ford PE. Oh, sorry, it doesn't have one. Let's go with another company. Let's check out Volkswagen just to give us an example. I think I took that wrong. Hang on a second. Let me get this right. All right. I went ahead and changed companies. We went with Chevrolet instead of Volkswagen because I noticed that it's in German money. I'm not going to try to do conversions like that. Chevrolet, another good company to compare them with. All the cars, all the trucks, all the electric vehicles at GM are actually doing pretty good this year with 156 million. So Elon's almost caught GM, okay, with his 55 PE. I think his growth parade is going to come to a halt pretty soon. I don't think the market's out there for what these people are thinking. Anyone want to guess what the PE is on Chevy is 5.5. Not 55, but 5.5. So if his growth game is over at yeah, if his growth game is over in the next 50% of business, let's just say 150 or 200 billion a year, he's going to have to come down to a PE that is, and that's if he has good earnings, but he's going to have to come down to a 5 or a 10, or you can't just give the guy a 55 because he does electric cars. You got to give him a 55 because it's a growing, booming business. But is it anymore? He's already grown up onto $100 billion. How much do you think he's got left? Seriously. Hang on, let me compare him with another maker. Ooh, that was hard. I had to do some international conversion rates. Volkswagen is the world's biggest car company. Drum roll, please. Would anyone like to guess how much they do annually in US dollars? $300 billion. Okay. That's the ceiling. Elon's at 1/3 of the ceiling. Is he Volkswagen? I would venture to say no. I would venture to say he's definitely not in the common man car price club like Volkswagen is. Can he sell as many units as them? Probably not. Can he sell a third of what they sell? He already is. He's already selling a third of what Volkswagen sells. I hate to say it, but he's winding down his growth season. This growth can't continue past doubling again. I mean, maybe it can double again. Maybe he's at 100 billion now. Okay, I can conceptualize 150 or 200 billion. Unless he gets into gas cars, I don't know how he's going to break 300 billion and go from there and justify the price per earnings of 55. It's absolute insanity. The growth game is over. He's kind of already king of cars, except for Volkswagen, who's had a 75-year head start on the guy. Obviously, I would say that their revenue could double, their profits could double one more time. I think that's all it's got in it. Take the PE down to, well, if you left the price alone and doubled the earnings per share, and you'd be looking at around 25 PE, which is probably still. Let's check Volkswagen's PE. Hold on a second. Yeah, Volkswagen's sitting at a 4 for the PE, and the reason they're sitting at a 4 for the PE because everybody knows they're done growing. Let's look at Volkswagen's growth, just to compare it to Tesla, since they're the biggest company on earth. They don't have a growth. They're just going to consistently shuck out $222 billion worth of cars every year. 250 billion this year. They haven't even hit 300 million. I was exaggerating. Looks like they've hit 235, 250. So he's almost half of Volkswagen now. He's closing in on half of Volkswagen. And on some of these years, he's half of Volkswagen right now. Yeah, his growth has to be done, guys. Which means you assign him a PE of 10 if you really like the guy. Everyone else has got a 5, I don't know, or a 6. Why didn't he have a 5 or a 6? Because he's not growing yet? He's not done growing yet? Yeah, he is. He's done growing. That's it. He's reaching the end of how many cars the world would possibly accept from him. And he's not even affordable to the normal person where this company is. So to think, could he reach Volkswagen levels? I would say no. I would say he can reach a fraction of Volkswagen, maybe half. I'm going to give him credit for 150. I'm going to say he can go just a little bit more growth. This company is worth less than half what this price is. His growth game is over. He needs to divide his price per earnings by 10 soon. 55 to 5 once he's done growing. So you just go ahead and divide his price. The price needs to divide by 10 to equal what his earnings are. Yeah, not worthy. With a shit ton of stock issued. He's got a lot of stock issued. He's got a lot of money. He's got 22 billion in the company. 3 billion stocks issued. I can't see it not being a $20 company one day. I think 3 years from now, we're all going to look back and we're going to say, you know what, Tesla hasn't grown in a year. And that those earnings reports and that lack of growth, people are going to go, oh, bummer. Oh, bummer. And it's going to be quarter after quarter after quarter of lack of growth. It's not Elon's fault. It's the amount of cars that the world can accept. There's only so much demand for cars. It's all accounted for. And the biggest company ever can do 250 billion. Elon's already at 100 billion. And I don't think he holds a candle to Volkswagen when it comes to reach, sales outlets, having your own dealerships, 5 times in every major city across the world. I don't know. I sense this being a $30 to $50 stock in 3 years. That's where I sense this. And we're all going to laugh about the PE of 55 when everybody thought he was going to do $1 trillion in cars one day. Not happening, guys. I'm sorry. I mean, I know it's a cool name brand, and I know everybody wants a Tesla, and Volkswagen's probably not on your bucket list. Let's look at one more car company. BMW, 142 billion euros. Yeah, that's again, same story, same thing that we're talking about. A certain cap that you're just not going to get past. Do they have a PE? 3.6. That's the PE of BMW. 3.6. Guess the world thinks they're done growing at $150 billion a year. Tesla's PE, just double check so I don't make a fool out of myself. 52.97. Okay. Price per earnings ratio is obviously 10 times higher than every in your car company. And I get that because he was only doing 20 million a year. And it was obvious that he was going to get to be a big boy one day. And they were valuing him to be a big boy. They went and did that, and they valued him to be a much bigger boy than anyone's ever been in the history of the world. They valued him like 10 times more than Volkswagen, maybe 5 times more than Volkswagen at this price. He's valued 5 times more than Volkswagen at these levels. If Volkswagen sold $100 billion worth of cars, yeah, it'd still be worth $20. Yeah, it's a $30, $40 stock, folks. It's all hype. It's all horse shit. He's not going to sell $1 trillion worth of cars. He's not going to sell $300 billion worth of cars in a year. I know everyone thinks everyone's going to go electric in this country. It's going to take 30 or 40 years, and they're not all going to be Teslas. It's going to be just as divided up amongst 10 brands, probably, or the top 20 brands, just like it is now. For him to keep these margins, is he ahead of the game? Is he all those kinds of things? Absolutely. He's a pioneer. He's a badass. He's a stud. But he's not going to sell $1 trillion worth of cars. He's not going to sell $500 billion worth of cars. He's not going to sell $300 billion worth of cars. He'll probably get to 150. We did see some leveling for, 3 quarters in a row right here, where they couldn't sell more cars, and all of a sudden they started selling more cars again. It's the difference between 16.93 and a quarter and 21. I guess we can call that about 25%. 21 to 24, 21.45, maybe a little bit less, maybe 18% this quarter. So yeah, this is where he goes from 0% or 2%, and then down a little, and then up 25%, up 18%. The next one's probably going to be up 15%, then 12%, then 10%, and whatever it is, he's going to stop at He's going to stop under 200 billion a year, and that's going to be it. That's going to be the end of growth. It's just going to be that's how many we're going to sell, and he's going to become a Volkswagen where he sells the same number every year forever, and it might shuffle depending on the new models and how people take to them and stuff like that. But it's going to be somewhere between 150 and 200 billion dollars a year. That's the stopping point. And because of that, this stock is worth half, or I say it's worth 10, 5 to 10 times less what it's priced at. If you want to call it half, that's fine. It's not worth 191, not a snowball's chance in hell. And it's not worth 191 in 5 years. It's not worth 191 in 10 years. He's maybe if you add SpaceX and you add Solar City, you take all of his other projects, that's worth 191. But Tesla, no, they're not growing that much bigger, guys. Do the math. Go look at your other car companies. Go look at their PEs. Go look at the differences between this one and that one, and you tell me how he's going to outsell Volkswagen by double. Leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. If you think he's going to single-handedly replace every car with an electric one in the country in the next 10 years, and that's going to be his story, wrong. There's other people out there selling them too, and they are. Toyota Prius. I see them on the road all the time. Anyhow, have a wonderful night. Enjoy my video, I hope. If you're a Tesla fan, sorry to bum you out. It ends at 200 to 300 billion a year. I think that's just nature. Unless he can outdo anything the world has ever seen, and then what's the limit? Is the limit 500? Then it's still not worth 191. So call it what you want. At some point, he's got a PE of 5. Keep that in mind. Leave a comment if you want to yell at me below. And thank you very much. Please subscribe to my channel. Hopefully I'll have something positive to say about him one day, about Tesla. In fact, I got a ton of positive to say. I'm a huge Elon Musk fan. But this one's growth story is wrapping up. And you have to acknowledge that. And the PE is going to come down when it does. You have to acknowledge that. He doesn't just get 10 times what everybody else gets when he's not growing anymore. Thanks and have a wonderful night. Bye, guys.